Number one, important to you, food, okay? Tonight, the cafeteria is open at 5 p.m., okay? So if you need to eat or you're part of the meal plan, 5 o'clock right outside here, the cafeteria will be open. They'll also be open tomorrow at 7:30 in the morning for breakfast and then resume regular hours this week, okay, in the cafeteria, all right? The other thing that I wanted to mention, some of you may have not noticed yet, but there was an email that was just sent out recently today. They are requiring you to wear masks here. It's okay. I know some of you don't have masks on, or a lot of you, but right now here on the campus, we are mandating that you wear masks, okay? So make sure you have a mask when you go to class tomorrow, okay, and when you're on campus.
They can stop by our office if people don't have them.
If you don't have a mask, you can stop by the Compass office. And Aaron, will you still be there today?
Yeah.
Okay. There will be masks in there, and they're just kind of like, not cloth ones, but those are the ones you can use. In the upcoming weeks, we'll have the more efficient masks. But if you do need a mask, please come to the Compass office. Did somebody have a question about the mask? I thought I saw. Yeah.
I was just going to ask if, you guys have it.
Oh, yep. So we have one. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is, if you have not checked in today to get your residence key to go back to your room, Ashley Pulaski's back here. So after you meet with your individual instructor today, make sure that you meet with Ashley. Okay? Anybody not get your key from Ashley yet? Okay? Make sure you. I think Sam got it. Anybody else? Okay, make sure you visit with Ashley after this. Okay? We're almost done, but I do need you guys to pay attention. One other thing I wanted to mention is you're going to get the most out of this week what you put into it. Okay? So that means staying off your phone, especially if you're at service. Okay? We don't want you to go to a service opportunity and be on your phone. Okay? I do ask surrounding areas when they're hiring Briarcliff students, what makes you stand apart? And they say when we see that service listed on their resume, it means they're actually going out, they're doing better for the community, and they're not asking to get paid for it. Okay? Service involves actually being involved, being invested, and not being on your phone. Okay? So we ask the same when you're meeting with us in these classroom settings. Okay? All right. For our second speaker, I want to give an intro to this person. Our second speaker that we have is Ike Rayford. Ike is currently the CEO of Brownsville Diversity LLC. He's a leader, a facilitator, a leadership coach and trainer, and a diversity specialist with over 15 years of experience. He currently serves as the president of the NAACP in Sioux City. He's an alum of Briarcliff, and most recently he ran for the Sioux City City Council. Okay? He's also recently been appointed to the Mercy Medical Health Board and the Sioux City Civil Service Commissioner. Okay? So if you need to fix any of those, check me. Okay? He earned his Bachelor of Arts degree with a double major in Business Administration and Mass Communication here at Briarcliff, while balancing the demands of school, being a single parent, and full-time employment. He strives to bring people together by valuing the individuality of everyone he encounters and withholding judgment. Ike is a strong advocate of continuous personal and professional development, and he believes in commitment to continuous growth your whole life. Okay? Please welcome Ike Rayford.
Thank you, Alicia. Thank you. Hey, thanks for having me. Every day, every week, I'm in front of people talking, doing the leadership training and all those things. And so sometimes it's nice to just take a break. I didn't think I was going to be on time. I came from church, so this is a shameless plug. Hey, if you don't have a church home, looking for a church home, every one of you is invited to Mount Zion Baptist Church. We're just right down the street. Come 10:15 is when we start, seriously. And usually we get some athletes that come out and join services, but everyone, no matter what your religious, your beliefs are, you're all invited. Come out, check us out, worship with us, and have a good time. So I got to do that, right? Now, Alicia just told you, don't be on your phones and everything, but I do want you to take your phones, because here's the thing, I'm all about shameless plugs. I'm all about getting everything that I can get in life, because that's what we're here for, right? Julian just told you, you're here to get a degree, right? Come on, y'all, I need some participation. Hey, we here, let's do it. so I want you to take your phones out, and I want you to go to YouTube, and you know, Alicia's gonna kind of pull up YouTube. Everybody go to YouTube. When you got YouTube, say, I got it. Okay, that wasn't everybody. So I need everybody to say it. You on YouTube? Now this is the one opportunity that you get to be on your phone. So I want you to take advantage of it, right? Now I want you to type in Ike Rayford. How you spell Rayford? R-A-Y-F-O-R-D. And I'm sorry, I'm also from Texas. I still have a little bit of that Texas Southern thing going. I'm from Dallas, but we keep I agree. Absolutely. So everybody got Ike Rayford? All right, Alicia gonna go ahead and play that for me because in my intro I didn't put it in there, but I am a TEDx speaker. So I'm just gonna show a little bit of this. Thank you for this opportunity to just speak and talk to you just for a little while. You know, when I think about the overall theme of healing, I think about intentional and being intentional. What does it mean? And I'm reminded that to be intentional, it means that you must recognize that there is an element, there is an issue that comes with healing. And so when I think about that, I think about something that has to be done on purpose and deliberate. So for healing, there has to be a deliberate effort of change. In other words, change done on purpose. I'm not sure who Anonymous is, but I love Anonymous. Because Anonymous says that nothing changes unless folks feel uncomfortable. All right, we can stop it right there. The other thing about Anonymous is we cannot forever, because what I want you guys to do, you know, you got it on your phones now. I want you to go and watch it a little bit later. You know, I want to get those numbers up, right? Hey, you know, you got to ask, right? That's what we do. But I want to stop there because nothing changes unless folks feel uncomfortable. And Julian said that in one of his takeaways, you know, get uncomfortable about some things. But real quick, as my bio said, I'm Ike from Dallas, Texas. Actually, I took a different route as it relates to me coming to Briarcliff. I was a single parent. I had actually kind of went to you guys' enemy school up in Orange City. So I went to Northwestern in Orange City. I know, right? Can you imagine that? So Julian thought he had it back home to Sioux City, man. Try to imagine going to Orange City from Dallas, Texas. You know, I always tell people I grew up Baptist, thought I'd try a little Reformation, but then I came to Catholicism and now back Baptist. So hey, I covered them all. Anybody ask me anything? But yeah, so I went to Northwestern. Things didn't work out quite like the way I wanted them to. Was married, had a couple of kids. My wife hated it in Iowa, and she was like, "Hey, I'm not doing this. I'm going back to Texas." And because I had already transferred from the University of Texas, I was like, "There's no way that I can transfer, and the things that I had already taken at Northwestern was gonna, you know, transfer anywhere else." So I was like, "Well, I'm stuck. I gotta stay here. I gotta finish and try to do that." But being a single parent, working, trying to play sports, trying to go to school, it just wasn't cutting it. So I decided to move to Sioux City and you know, work and try to figure it out. Because I didn't want to go back to Dallas. That was the thing for me. Didn't want to go back to Dallas because as the way that I saw it, what was there for me? I grew up in the hood, grew up in the ghetto, grew up South Dallas. Anybody from Dallas here? From Dallas? You probably heard of Bunton, right? Bunton. I went to Dallas Lincoln. You can let them know. It's the real deal, right? Other side of the tracks. Other side of the tracks. And so I didn't want to go back to that. There was no way I was going back to that. And I was like, man, I got to do something. A couple years work, and then the Wake Foundation. Anybody familiar with Gateway Computers? Gateway started here in Sioux City. Well, they had a foundation, and they were giving money away. And they said, hey, we got a single parent scholarship. And I applied for the single parent scholarship, got it, and decided to come to Briarcliff to go to school. And got a job at the TV station, worked at the TV station, was there for 17 years, so all of that great stuff. I was a what do they call it, non-traditional? Is that the right way? Non-trad. So I didn't get to have a freshman year like you guys had here at Barclay. But, and I didn't stay on campus. I had an apartment with my boys, and we did the thing where I worked and all those things. I always had in my mind that I was going to finish school. I wanted to do it, one, for my grandmother, but two, it was something, you're always told, hey, finish school, get your education, they can't take that away from you. Work hard, do all that you do. But I was always missing something. Went to school, was like, man, I'm missing something. So I joined organizations because I wanted to volunteer. Julian asked me, hey, how's everything going? I said, man, busy, And I told him, I said, I wouldn't have it any other way. Busy, love to be busy, was always busy. Someone told me when I was growing up, never rust out, wear out, but don't rust out. So that means don't sit still. And as I was going through, trying to figure out, what I want to do, graduated, but decided to stay in the TV business, and thought, you know what, it's great. People think you make a lot of money in TV. And you know what? And you go to Chicago, you go to Miami, you go to LA, New York, you do make a lot of money. Sioux City, Iowa, you don't. And so I was working my way through the stages of TV. I'm probably the only person that's worked at Channel 4 that worked in every department. Started out in commercial productions, made commercials, then went into production engineering, went into news. I was actually on air for about 3 years, and then I ended up being a sales executive and did that for about 4.5 years. And then I said, you know what, I got to do my own thing. And since I've been doing that, and I actually run a production company as well, which I do a lot of work. You guys will see me on campus sometimes for that as well. Actually see my employers. But sometimes, Ashley says, hey, Ike, we want you. I come through. But anyway, decided that I would get busy in the community. Got busy in the community and was the vice president of the NAACP. Anybody know what the NAACP is? Anybody? So we really got to get busy because, we need people to know it. But it's the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. It's been around since 1909. It's the oldest civil rights organization in America. And some of the landmark case, Brown versus Board, some of those things that you'll hear about it from a historical standpoint, NAACP. Got busy with them, and we realized that there was still work to do. But I also didn't stop there. Joined a few boards. I love old people. I've served on the aging board because, the one thing about old people, I always say this, everybody gives to the kids, and we need you to give and be there for our children. However, we still need people to be there for the old people too. And again, a shameless plug, because here's the thing. I want you to be there for old people because I'm getting old. So I'm going to need you guys to help volunteer and be a part of that. But anyway, I decided to get involved with other organizations, and then decided that recently, 4 or 5 years ago, became the president of NAACP, and really saw the work that needed to be done as it relates to civil rights and all those things. But that's not the only thing. Decided that I wanted to be involved in various facets of life. And the reason why I said when Alicia asked that question, how many of you know what you want to do? And I raised my hand because I still don't know. If you would have told me that I was going to run for city council 2 years ago, I would have laughed at you. If you would have told me that when I was in school, I would have really laughed at you. Had no desire to be a politician, none whatsoever. And even today, when people say, hey, are you going to run against? Because I ran, but I lost. Lost by 66 votes. So any of you from Sioux City in here? See, I need y'all 66 votes. No, but, I lost by 66 votes. And sometimes, I don't know if it's worse losing by 66 votes or 6,600 votes, right? You're like, man, what did I not do? But anyway, if you would have told me that I was going to run for city council, I probably would have laughed at you because that just was no desire. But when you see a need and you understand that you can be a voice for people, you really understand that, what better person to do it than yourself. And so I stepped out because guess what? Nothing changes unless folks feel uncomfortable. I had to be uncomfortable. And I'm going to tell you, running for office is very uncomfortable. Very, because you know what? People talk about things, people assume one thing, people misjudge you and think you're this person. I have a son. My son, his name is Ike Jr. And Ike Jr., Ike Jr. had to hit his head a few times, and people confuse Ike Jr. for Ike Rayford. So if you guys don't have any kids, if you have a son, don't name him don't name him after you. Because if he gets in trouble, then they think it's you, right? But anyway, he's a great kid. He's doing his thing. Anyway, running for office is tough. It's tough because people really come at you. People ask you questions. People want you to tell them what they want you to say and not what you feel is right. One of the things that I often stood firm on was that as not being a politician, I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear, but I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to stand on integrity. I'm going to stand on integrity because, like other people, they tell you something and they don't do it. I can't tell you what I'm going to do, and I don't even know what that is. And so people really do come at you. And so it's really, 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 really tough. If you ever want to run for office, I do not want to discourage you from that because we need you to. And what you're learning here, what you're learning about your passion and your purpose can be that. You to enact change into a society that you see that needs change. Doesn't matter what your political stance is, you believe it, you stand firm on it, and that's what's important. And so, ran for city council, great experience though, great experience. And I would encourage everybody to do it, whether it be city council, whether it be any little city race, local race, county race. I can only imagine what presidents and those people run for those. Man, that's just a crazy. But you know what? Maybe one of you in here, that's who you are. Maybe that's your calling, and that's fine. But decided to do that, and it was a great experience. But when I lost, I was like, okay, what do? Do I mean, is that it for me or not? Well, no, it's not it for me. I'm still trying to decide, where do I want to be? Because I'm happy. I got things. I have a great career, make great money, doing the things I want to do. I have some partners. We talk about, every week we get together, we talk about checks that we get. I just got a check, and I'm on top of the mountain right now. I'm leading. And it's not about money, but it's about, it's the report card, right? But we get down, we talk about what we want to do and where we want to be and what we want to do, because ultimately it is about, what I do is about helping you get to where you want to be. Not you, but anybody that decides to come. Anyway, I meet with my friends, right? We sit down, we talk about, hey, what did you do this week? What did you do? Who do you talk to? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? And then we say, all right, what's your check? What's your highest check? This week I cashed a check for $10,000. Everyone's like, you keep beating us. Well, I keep beating them because the reason why is that I don't do what I do for the money. I do what I do because I want to see people grow. I want to see people be the best them that they can be. I want to see you be the best you can be. I challenge you. You have, I know more than four, but you have Alicia, you have Ashley, you have Jay, you have Aaron. I want you, you talk about doing your tail fees and doing all these passion, trying to find and understand. If you don't know what it is, I want you to go to any one of those individuals and say, hey, I need help. I want you to go to your instructors. I want you to go to your counselors. I want you to go to your advisors. Challenge them. You are here for 4 years. Well, I guess 3.5 now, right? But you're here to get what you came for. See, earlier I asked you to go to YouTube, right? And ask you to, type in my name and ask you, I want you to watch that because I want something. So I'm asking you. The Bible says you have not because you ask not. You have an opportunity as you venture through school, as you venture through what you're trying to find, your purpose and your passion. Use the people that you have here for you. Use them. You paid your money, you whatever loans, grants, working, whatever it may be, you've made that money to pay to this institution to get what you want, to get what you desire, what you deserve. And what you deserve is a degree. And you deserve a degree that's going to set you up and get you where you want to be in life, right? Right? You guys agree? That's what it's about. But you don't get there alone. You get there with the help of the people who have been assigned to you to help you. And right now, those are those people. Those are those people. Alicia, she's here to help you. Aaron, is here to help you. Ashley is here to help you. Jay is here to help you. When I was going through school, and I remember saying, I don't know how I'm going to do it, being a single parent, I had help. And I had help because I asked for that help. I asked for that help because I understood that if I didn't get it, that's where I wanted to be. Now I'm going to bring this home for you. Because here's the thing. Passion. It always starts with the why. Why? Why do you do what you want to do? Your purpose. Why? Why did you come to Briarcliff? What was it that made you decide to come to Briarcliff University? Talk about dating myself. Now, Alicia said something about, she's probably older than me, but I'm probably older than Alicia. When I first started coming to Briarcliff, we were still Briarcliff College. And then when I graduated, it was Briarcliff University. And we were on the trimesters too. And that was an interesting time, but I digress. But, why? Why did you choose Briarcliff? I mean, there was something that made you choose of all the colleges. Just here in Sioux City alone, there's two four-year colleges and then community colleges, but then around, there's a whole bunch of colleges. Of all the colleges throughout the Midwest, you chose Briarcliff. Why? Why did you choose Briarcliff? You chose Briarcliff because it spoke to you. There was something about Briarcliff that said, yeah, I'm the place that you want to be. Some of you are like, nah, hey, mama said if I go down, they'll pay for it, right? but you came here. I want to leave you with this. You chose to come here. I want you to get something from it. And I want you to take advantage of the resources that you have in front of you. And those resources, Alicia, Ashley, Jay, Aaron. I want you, even Maggie, I see Maggie back there too. Maggie's here. So even Maggie, take advantage of that. When you go through your worksheet, when you're ready to do your TELFI, you're here. Take advantage of it. Use it. It's not like you're going to get away from it, right? Right? You're going to have to do it. And the thing about Briarcliff is small enough that everybody knows everybody. Teacher knows everything. And, they do. They know it all, so you can't get by from it. George Frangidakis. I don't know if some of you guys probably wouldn't remember George Frangidakis, but George Frangidakis used to be an econ teacher here, professor. George said, always know your value. Always know what you're worth. Every one of you have a value. Every single one of you has a value. Every one of you has a value. But it's up to you to decide what that value is and know what it is. I could talk about a whole lot of things, but today we're talking about your purpose and your passion, right? What is your purpose? You don't know. You don't even have to know what it is today. Seriously. Because if someone would have told me that I was going to be running for city council, that I would be now serving on the Civil Service Commission, which decides jobs, decides pay rates, decides all those things, if someone would have told me that, I would have laughed at them. Like, nah, that's not me. I'm going to be doing something else. But somewhere I decided that, you know what, my voice can be heard, and I have a voice. What is your voice? What is it? You have 3.5 years to figure it out, get involved, participate, find it along the way. And when you do find it, I tell you what, it'll pay off. And then when you sit down and you say, hey, you know what? I'm cashing checks because I'm doing what I want to do. Right? Any questions for me? Thoughts? Questions? There's always got to be one, right?
Your favorite memory of college, as a college student?
Oh, wow.
She rated.
She rated. My favorite memory, you know what, it's not even a favorite memory, but I would tell you, so being a student, being a non-trad student, I had to drive to school every day and every morning. And I tell you what, I hated parking. Do I still call it the pit? When I think about coming to school, that used to just drive me crazy. Like having to park down there and walk up that hill in the morning, and you know it's cold out, and I just should be like, can y'all like find some money to get us like a tram or something? You know, seriously. But that was probably the thing. I was a non-trad, so I didn't really spend a lot of time on campus other than me coming to class. I will tell you that I really, truly enjoyed some of the professors that I had. Mike Crowley, is Mike Crowley still a professor? Mike Crowley is awesome. I mean, he's, man, that dude. Barb Redmond, I know she's retired, but, you know, getting to know people and especially getting to know them on a personal level is something that I had never heard of from a college standpoint. So I can appreciate that about Briarcliff and having professors that know me and really understood my situation and everything like that. But the memory for me would be definitely walking up that that stupid hill. You know, I always said if I become a millionaire, I'm gonna buy something and put it up there. So you guys won't benefit from it, but somebody will one day, right? So y'all keep, you know, tell all your friends about that, get my numbers up, and then we can probably get that system, right? Get a magic carpet or something. Any other questions? There's gotta be one. One more. I'll put you on the spot.
Guys, somebody ask a question.
This is your time. Remember, I challenge you to use your resources.
Dante, I'm looking at you. You or Felix can't come up with a question? Anybody? You just covered it up. There's one.
Why did you not like Northwestern?
Oh, wow. You know what? That's a great question. You know, it wasn't that I didn't like Northwestern. It's just because I became a single parent. And it was just hard to really, and there was no jobs really in Orange City that I thought that I could do while being a parent. So I moved to Sioux City. And believe it or not, the only reason I chose Sioux City versus Sioux Falls was when I was in college at Northwestern, we partied in Sioux Falls more than we did in Sioux City. So I thought if I went to Sioux Falls, I wouldn't get anything. I wouldn't do right up there. So I got G rated. So I came to Sioux City because I thought I would grow up a little bit more and find what I needed. But yeah, that's why it wasn't that I didn't like. I played football and ran track up there, so I still have a little love for them. But you know, my money comes here. Anything else? How did I maintain? Great question. I tell you what, grace of God, one. You know, having a support system. I had no family here, so it was just me and my boys. I had a great church family that was like, hey, we see you're trying to do your thing. We're going to help you out. My kids actually went on more vacations than me than I've ever been on because they went with babysitters, they went with families who was willing to take them with them. It was tough, though. I remember, you know, and I tell the story. I remember driving back from Texas with my boys, and I had to change a diaper. And I went into the men's restroom, rest stop, and there was no changing tables. And I was like, man, I got to change. So I had to change it on the floor of the men's restroom, which, you know, that's gross. So I wrote a letter to DOT, Iowa DOT, and now they have changing tables in the men's bathroom. It was things like that that really challenged me to have a voice, but really having a support system. And just like I asked, and that was the whole purpose of that, always ask. Seriously, don't be afraid to ask me for any and everything that you needed, but it was really others that helped me. Because being, you know, going through teething and potty training, I was pulling, that's why I don't have any hair. Pulling it out. Seriously, I was like, oh my God, what are they doing? And people said, we got you, Ike. So, yeah, great question. Anything else?
All right, let's give him a round of applause.
All right, well, we're waiting for the PowerPoint to get back up.
Come on, bro.
Sorry about that. That means he talked too long, I guess. I wanted to shout out to Jay, Aaron, and Ashley. Are there any announcements that I've forgotten to make so far about students being back on campus? I think you're good. Good? Okay.
Come on, bro. You know, right.
So, what we're going to do next is we're going to talk about where you're all going to go for class tomorrow. I'm sure if there's somebody that doesn't know where they're going tomorrow for class.
Raise the hand high. Be proud about it. I always told you TikTok.
Alright. It's going to take a while to get this up, but just a reminder, tomorrow we do have class. Everybody will go to their section of class at 10 o'clock, okay? It might take a while to get this up, but I'll just tell you where you're going. Again, when you get done here today, after you meet with your individual instructor, I might have Ashley or Aaron sit back there, and if you don't know what section you're in, they'll have a list back there to tell you where you're going, okay? But if you are in the section with, I have teachers from last year. That's great. Well, okay. My instructors can shout out to me if they know their classrooms. So if you are in my section, it's the animal welfare. Ashley will also be teaching that with me. We're going to be in Heelan Hall, room 002. Okay? So it's kind of kitty corner from like by the coffee shop. Right? Okay? If you are in Jay's class, Jay, can you tell me what your classroom number is?
We're in 64, Heelan Hall.
Is that Mies Recital Hall?
Mies
Okay.
Recital Hall.
Yep. So if you're in Jay's class, celebrating youth
I was wondering
leadership,
what class I was.
you're going to be in Mies Recital Hall.
Like 64.
Okay? If you are in Lily's class, which is Education, Advocacy, and Care, Lily, do you know what room number you're in?
94.
94? You'll go to 94. Marguerite, I haven't said your class yet. If you are in her class, what room number is that? P1 96. And then in Courtney Ott and Candace Sheehock's class, do you know what room number you're in? Okay. That would be my mistake because I kept last year's up. But,
Ashley can look it up really quick. She said.
Ashley will look that up.
We're working on it right now.
Sorry, I got that updated that from last year. My bad. Oh, there it is. Okay, no, it's not. All right. So, just one last thing. Raise your hand if you remember what kind of phone or device you have to use to make your selfie.
2022 phone.
I said raise your hand. Sam got the point. Sam passes the class. Raise your hand if you how you have to position the phone. Sam again.
Horizontally.
Oh my gosh, he has 110 points. Okay? So, remember, what was that? I'll put that for your teacher that you got 110. Jay, you have something to say?
You got a professor here.
Yeah.
Oh, that's his professor.
who I'm
Now
with.
you know he has
Well,
110 points.
you
All right?
you have a professor that you can say there.
James, no.
Hold on, we'll right now. He's right.
She don't know.
Oh, Jason. Jason's class.
Yes.
Jason's class